Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Ask Jeff show. We're up to episode number 34. We have 4 new questions for you guys this week. Cool, so for the first question for this week is, how do you create a referral partnership with like chiropractors, hairstylists, or massage therapists? And how do you get the conversation started? And when in your business do you start setting up, those partnerships? So to answer the last question first, you should start those partnerships, from day one. So we're gonna call these referral partnerships. You're gonna start from day one. So the first thing is identifying all the businesses in your area that would be a good referral partner. So you want to find businesses that have a similar clientele that they serve, again, a non-competing way. So again, like your chiropractors, a massage therapist, and it could be anything, that caters to children, from gymnastic centers to daycare centers to trampoline, parks, laser tag, mini golf, mixed martial arts or karate studios, anything like that. Because wherever there's kids, there's parents, and the moms are a perfect fit, for your boot camp or for your fat loss program. So once you've identified those, I would start with the most popular, the ones that have the biggest following first, and try to introduce yourself and start those relationships off first. So starting from day one, you want to find all the potential partners. And so make that list, and then kind of prioritize which ones you would really want to network with, because you can do more than one like chiropractor or more than one hair salon or whatever, but it's better to have a really good relationship with like one that services a lot of people and really make it beneficial to them as it is you. So another place that you can start to define these are at like local meetups, or networking groups. Like BNI. So BNI is Business Networking International. Pretty much every town, every city in the world has one. So just go online and Google BNI, Business Networking International. Find the one that's closest to you and go to the next meeting and just go as a guest. And what's going to happen is everybody's going to stand up and give like their elevator pitch, like 20 to 30 seconds about who they are, what they do, and what's a good referral for them. And then when it comes around to your turn, you're going to do the same thing. After that, everybody's going to pass out their business cards. They're going to try to get you to join for the year, which is like anywhere from like $400 to $800. I can't remember exactly how much, but you don't have to join, because when you join, you're only allowed to miss like 2 weeks out of the entire year. So out of 52 weeks, you can only miss twice. The other times, you're expected to find a substitute. So all the business cards everybody passed out to you, follow up with all of them and let them know like, hey, it was very nice meeting you. Unfortunately, my schedule isn't allowing me to join at the moment, but if there's ever a time where you need a sub, just let me know and I see if I can, if I can fill in for you. The other thing that they try to do at these groups is they try to do what's called one-on-ones, where you actually meet up one-on-one with other business owners that are in the group for like coffee or lunch, and like let each other know like what a good referral is for you. So all the ones that gave you their business cards that are the hair salons, the chiropractors, massage therapists, daycare center owners, the ones that have the same clientele, try to set up those one-on-ones first. And what I do is I let them go first and talk about their business, and I just keep asking lots and lots of questions. And they're talking about how they run their business, how long they've had it, how many customers they have, and what a good referral is for them. And they just expect you to go and start referring people. Well, nobody ever does that, because you really care about your business more than you care about theirs, and the same thing for them. So what I do is when it's my turn, instead of talking about my business and what a good referral looks like for me, I start giving them tips on all the things that they were saying as far as business and marketing goes, because in the fitness industry, we are really on the front lines of internet marketing or marketing in general. It's a highly competitive industry, highly competitive niche, so we have all the latest and greatest strategies. People in the hair salon, chiropractors, massage therapists, they don't get the same kind of training as you do. And what might seem like a simple thing that you've heard for years might be like, brand new and super exciting for them and really change their business. So I'll see where there's some holes in their business and give them some tips, and that gets them really excited, about their business. And they're like taking notes the whole time. And then when our time's up, then they're like, oh, wait a minute, what about your business? And then, I just, tell them that pretty much anybody that's trying to lose weight is a good, is a good fit. And I usually just leave it at that. So that's one way to actually get the conversation started and actually meet people. If you don't want to go to like a local meetup or to like a BNI, you can actually just walk in, just do like a walk-in. So say the most popular hair salon isn't in the BNI group, but you really want to, and they're right down the street from you, like a block from your gym. Normally I would go about 15, maybe 30 minutes before they're supposed to open, and I go on one of their slowest days. Most hair salons are closed on Mondays, so I would go on like a Tuesday, and I'd go about 30 minutes before they're supposed to open. That's usually when a manager or somebody of influence is going to be there going through the books or just getting the place ready for the day, and either the manager or owner will be there. Sometimes the door will be locked, and I'll just like kind of peek in, and if I see somebody in there, I'll knock on the door, and they'll come open it, and I'll introduce myself, and I let them know that, hey, I'm Jeff, I have a fitness boot camp down the street, and I tell them like, a bunch of my members were talking really highly of your place this morning in my boot camp, so I was in the area, thought I'd come in and check it out. Do you mind, showing me around and tell me what you guys have going on, because I have 250 other members that I would love to refer here. So by doing that, they're not going to say, no, I'm too busy, come back some other time. They're going to be like, oh yeah, sure, come on in, because you just said that your members who happen to be their customers were talking about how high, talking really highly of their place. They're not going to tell you to go away, because then they're going to think you're going to go back to your clients and say, man, that guy was a jerk, that woman was a jerk, she wouldn't even talk to me. So they're going to bring you in and show you around, tell you what they have, going on. So they'll tell you how all their products are organic, or their method of doing things, how it's more earth-friendly, or whatever their hook is for getting people in. And then when they're done, all I have to do is say, man, I can really see why my clients love this place. I would love to tell everybody else about, in my gym about it, and post on social media. Do you have some kind of offer or some kind of special that I could tell them about? So you're always going with the giving hand first. So remember, give first. So you haven't asked for anything. You're just telling them how great they are. You can see why everybody loves their place, and you want to tell more people about their place. And they might say, yeah, tell everybody, that just to mention you, and we'll give them a free cut and color just to get them in the door. You're like, okay, great. So that's it for the first visit. I don't ask for anything, And normally, like when you ask them for if there's anything that you can give your clients to get people in the door, they'll tell you like a free cut and color or whatever. And they usually ask you like, hey, do you have any business cards or anything you want to leave here? And I'm like, oh, I do, but I didn't bring any. Maybe next time I'll stop in and bring some. And you don't want to just run out to the car and grab it, because it still seems kind of salesy and not as personal. You just want to be cool and start the relationship off with the giving first. And it also gives you an excuse and a reason to go back the next day. So go back and post it on your social media, add them as a friend. I wouldn't email out yet. I'd go back the next day and just say, hey, I put it on social media, and tell some of your clients that like to like it and comment on it, and like, oh yeah, I love that place, or whatever. And then you go back the next day and tell them like, hey, I put it on my social media and got a bunch of likes right away. I wanted to email out to my list, but I can't just email them, a free cut and color or whatever. So I wanted to do an interview with you. Is that cool? And you set up a time to do the interview. Just take your iPhone in, just hold it up, and ask them all the same questions that you did the day before on the tour, and have them give you an interview. Now, back in the day when SEO for local business was super easy, and it still is kind of easy, I actually would get these interviews ranked on YouTube and on Google for keywords in the other industries, because I was already dominating in the fitness space. So I would also start getting listings in other industries on Google. So you can still do that strategy today. So you go back to the interview, and then you put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook, and then you send out to your email list, drive traffic there, add them to your email list so they can actually see it go out. Now you've already given them twice. Now they're pretty much asking you what they can do for you. And what you can say is like, I usually try to do a charity, based offer. So first time, try to make it a charity. So it makes it really easy for them to promote. So some kind of charity offer. Right now, this is the perfect time of year, because you can do, we're doing like a burn the fat, feed the homeless type thing, where it's 14 days for $47, and 100% of it goes to like the Maryland Food Bank or whatever your local food bank is. And you could be like, yeah, we're actually doing this charity drive, Toys for Tots, or, a food drive or whatever it is. And it's 2 weeks for $47, 100% of the money is getting donated. Makes it really easy for them to email out, to their list. So they're probably not going to say no. At this point, you've already given to them, you've helped them out, and now you're only asking them to do something for a charity because they offered. You didn't even ask them. So they send out the emails for the charity. You're going to get some people in, and that's great. And what you do next is I go back to the next time, and either instead of getting my hair cut by the owner or the manager, I ask like who their best stylist is, or who do I thought, like which one of their stylists works out and I book an appointment with that person. So I actually use their service. So you want to use their service. And so I'll go in and get my hair cut, and I'll take in the $100 gift cards, and I'll tell the hairstylist about my boot camp, and I'll invite them in for a free month. So we have like these black gift cards. It says like a VIP member on there. On the back it says like approved by. I'll sign it and put an expiration date. You never want to offer somebody a free membership like ongoing, because then they just don't value it. So I let them know like, hey, I'd love for you to come out and check it out and get your opinion on it. So it's really just asking them like, hey, just come check it out and give me your feedback on it. Not asking them to do anything at this point. And then if they're like, yeah, sure, I'd love to do that. I always get a commitment out of them. Cool, when are you going to come in? Because I want to make sure I'm there so I can work out with you, or I'll make sure I'm training that session. And then get them to come in. They come in, they like it, and they love it. Then I have the $100 gift cards, and I'll tell them, like, hey, I'll give you 10 of these, and I'll put your initials on the back, so that way when they come back in, I'll know it's from you. Just put them on your station, and whenever you're doing people's hair and you start talking about gyms or fitness or whatever, and if you refer them and give them the $100 gift card, it's good for 2 free weeks. And when it comes in with your initial on the back, I'll give you a $100 Visa gift card in cash, plus I'll extend your membership. So that way, not only they're doing your boot camp or doing your fitness program, so they're a member and they can talk about it from experience rather than just saying, hey, I heard that place on the street is good. I've never been, but I heard it's pretty good. They're actually talking from experience and can really refer more people that way, and try to get their best hairstylist in. And then you can ask her, hey, if there's any other hairstylists in here that you think would be a good fit or would like to work out for free, I'm willing to make them the same deal as well. And that's how you can leverage hair salons. With like gymnastic centers is really easy. You just go in there, they're always doing fundraisers, and you can just say, hey, I have a fundraiser program for you that I've created to help you raise $500,000, $1,500. And there's no cost to you. All you have to do is send out these 3 emails. It's a 14-day fat furnace, especially for the parents of Rebounders Gymnastic Center or whatever gymnastic center you have nearby. They send out those emails, people sign up, you can track it all through ClickFunnels, so you can be very transparent and show them all the sales that came in and just write them a check for that amount. You get to write it off, you get 30, 40 people in, you upsell 15 to 20, 25 of them to regular paid memberships. But this is the way that you create the relationship with anybody. You go in and you give until it's just the obvious next step is for them to give back, and they'll just keep offering and just kill them with gifts and helping them with their business and make it seem like you're more concerned about their business than you are your own. You build a relationship like that, they'll mail out for you anytime for as long as you want. The gymnastics center that I initially started my boot camp out of would mail out for me anytime I wanted. And if I didn't ask them for a few months, they would actually ask me, hey, when are we going to do another promotion or whatever? And they would actually come to me, and that's how good of a relationship we had. So anything charity-based, whether it's 5Ks, you can always get them to mail out for you. The smaller ones work better than like the larger corporate ones. So go with the more smaller and new charities or 5Ks. And that's pretty much the formula for building or starting off the relationships with other business owners, and then getting them to eventually being able to mail out for you. You can always have them interview you and reverse the process with the videos and have them mail out the video and teach them that whole process as well. There's a lot of other things that you can do, but this is the best way to get started with that. So the next question is, they're saying that they hold a monthly weigh-in and benchmark workouts, and they have about 130 members, but only an average of 15 to 20 show up each month. They want to know, how can we get people to actually show up for this? So people, so clients show up for, you have weigh-ins and benchmark workouts. So we'll start with the benchmark workouts. So if you're doing any kind of performance training, whether CrossFit, kettlebell studio, whatever you have where you're doing like benchmark workouts, if you tell people, hey, this Saturday we're doing a benchmark workout, you're giving them the option, right? And so they're like, oh, I'm not ready for it. Oh, that workout's a killer. I don't really want to do that. So just surprise them. So when it comes to a benchmark workout, just make it your workout of the day and make it a surprise. So they walk in, hey, today we're doing a benchmark workout. I would do one or two a month even, and just make it the workout of the day, and everybody's doing that workout, and that solves that one. That's easy. Weigh-ins is another one. If they know that they're getting weighed in once a month, again, if they know that the results aren't going to be that great, they're probably going to skip it out, try to make it up, and maybe go in the next month. So with weigh-ins, you got to make it part of doing business with you. And so you got to make it part of doing business with you. I'll explain that in a second. You also have to incentivize them and give them recognition. So for us with weigh-ins, I've talked about it a lot, talked about it before. We do weekly weigh-ins, and we do them on Mondays. We call them motivational Mondays. So we use my Fit Client software. That's what they track their weight, their body fat, their pictures in there. We actually teach them how to use it from day one. So when they come in, we set up the account during the initial consultation, show them how to use it, how to weigh in, how to take their body fat with the Omron handheld. It's only $30 on Amazon. They can get one at home. We show them how to upload their pictures. And we recommend that they do it every Monday at home as soon as they wake up, and make it the first thing that they do that day. That way it's more consistent. Our trainers are trained that when people come in the door on Mondays, they're like, hey, welcome to Motivational Mondays. Hey, have you weighed in yet? Did you put your information in the software, in the computer? If they say no, we have 2 kiosks with a scale, an Omron, and like a mini iPad kiosk set up so they can weigh themselves, they can take their body fat, and then upload their picture and put it all into the software. So every Monday, whoever comes in to work out, if they didn't put their information in, didn't weigh in, they're not getting on the floor to work out until they do. It takes 2 to 3 minutes. We have 2 of them so people can, as they come in, we're getting them to weigh in and do all that. And after a while, they start getting conditioned to doing it at home, and less people come in saying, no, I didn't do it yet. They're also getting the reminders through the software that it's their day to weigh in. So when they first wake up, look at their email, they're getting those reminders. So with that, that goes with the part of doing business with you. As far as incentivizing, we have our client of the month. And in order to get client of the month, they win a nice prize bag. It consists of a 1-hour massage, a free cut and color, a $50 gift card to Smoothie King or any local smoothie place. I'm sure you can get all that stuff donated like I did. And in order to become client of the month, they have to weigh in for 4 consecutive weeks in a row, put their body fat in and their pictures. And that's how they are eligible to be client of the month. Somebody earlier today asked me if we let them know ahead of time who the client of the month is, or do we surprise them at the end of the session or whatever. We actually do let them know ahead of time, but we tell them not to tell anybody. And we only let them know maybe 3 to 4 days ahead. And we send them a woo-foo form with some questions that we want to know about them. So it's like, tell us one thing that nobody knows about you that's funny or abnormal or whatever that they want to share. And then we have some other questions about like what they like best, what the results they've gotten, what they would say to, it's almost like a testimonial, but we really want to get to know more about them. And we do a whole newsletter, like write up about them. So not only are we incentivizing them to be client of the month, and we also giving them the recognition as well through that email newsletter. So our entire email list gets to see that, put it on social media. So they're getting the recognition and they're getting incentivized and make it part of doing business with us. Also with the recognition, anybody that gets the results or is weighing in and getting closer to their goal, you always want to do a join me in congratulating campaign in your private Facebook group, on your fan page, in your email list, across as many channels as possible. You want to give as many of your members as much recognition as possible. That's going to motivate them to keep going and trying to aspire to be the client of the month. And then at the end of the year, when we have our holiday party, which is coming up next month, we would take all 12 clients of the month, and one of them would end up becoming client of the year. And that person is actually like our ambassador for the whole next year. They actually get the whole next year on us, and they're kind of like the face, and their story is like the story for our brand and our business for all of that next year. So that's like the highest honor they can get, is to be the client of the year. And it gives them something to work towards, and it follows this framework of make it part of doing business with you, incentivize them, and give them recognition. So our third question is, this person says their best trainer just no-showed for a session. We probably all have had that happen before. It's our worst nightmare, never want it to happen. And what I'm going to teach you won't eliminate it altogether, but it will definitely minimize the chances of it happening. So she said that she did request for someone to cover for her, but never confirmed whether or not someone could. she wants to know, how can I prevent this from happening in the future? So for me, like, I put it all on my trainers, and I put all the responsibility, on them to cover each other. So like, let's just say we have 4 trainers. Maybe like one works, 60%, it's my head trainer. And then trainer number 2 does like maybe 20% of the sessions, and then 3 and 4 will do the other 20 or 10% each. So for me, ultimately, my head trainer, it's their full-time job, so I'm paying them $2,000 base salary plus, per session. And no matter what, if these other 3 trainers can't make it in, it's the head trainer's responsibility. I mean, they don't have nothing else going on except unless when they go on vacation, which is very, 2, maybe 3 weeks a year. Everything, the rest of the time, the head trainer has it covered. For everybody else, everybody knows that if you no-show for 2 sessions, everybody oversleeps once in their life. But after that, there's no more excuses. So I have a zero tolerance after 1 policy. So after the first offense. So the second time they do it, they don't show up, they're gone. I don't care if they're like your best friend, your best trainer. If you put a policy in place like that, you have to be willing to back it up. Because if you don't, then nobody else is going to believe it, and they're not going to believe anything else you tell them or any other rules that you put in place. So we have a 0 tolerance policy after the first offense. So when that first one happens, you have to have a heart-to-heart with that person. Like, I don't care if you have to set your phone and 2 or 3 other alarms to make sure that you get there on time, or have the head trainer give you a wake-up call, or whatever it is you have to do to not get that second offense. And I used to work for a company who had a 0 late policy for just 1 time. If you did it, you're gone, no questions asked. And I swear, like, everybody there was always to work 30 to 40 minutes early. And so it didn't matter if there was traffic or an accident or anything, they always got there on time, if not super early. And nobody complained about it. They just knew that same thing. It's part of doing business with you. So once it's a policy and people get over the fact that that's how strict it's going to be, you don't usually have a problem. And what I tell them is if they can have as much time off as they want, but it's up to them to find their replacement, whether it's the head trainer or one of the other 2 trainers. It's up to them to find their replacement. And if they can't find a replacement, it's ultimately the head trainer. But if the head trainer still can't do it, then all that tells me is that we don't have enough trainers and I have to hire somebody else. And I let them know, like, I'm always looking on the lookout for new trainers, and I am. And if they can't cover each other, it just means we don't have enough staff. So no problem, I just hire somebody else. And in order to keep that person, interested in the job, I have to give them a couple sessions here and there. So most people are going to lose, 2 sessions each probably. So you're going to lose a little bit of money, and you're going to keep them hungry. And I'd rather have more trainers than not working, training less sessions. So that way they're always trying to make more money, and you have more people to choose from to replace. So try to always have, more trainers than you think you need. And just have them, a lot of times they'll work, I don't mind if my trainers train at like a big box gym or train one-on-one at a studio, as long as they're not teaching any other boot camps or group training classes. And the other rule is they're not allowed to post on social media about any other fitness, programs that they're involved in except for ours. So they can't be like, hey, I'm looking for 3 more clients at, such and such big box gym. They can't post that on social media while they're working for us. They're only allowed to talk about, our program, our boot camp, but they are allowed to have, personal, like, one-on-one clients outside of boot camp, not our members obviously, but at another gym or whatever. They have to make a living. So, and if they teach other boot camps, they're not allowed to talk about it or promote it on social media or online, unless they don't want to work for us. So more trainers is always better than not enough. And then they have to cover for each other. If they can't find the replacement, that just means that you need to hire more trainers. They'll lose a couple hours. They all know that. It's in their manual. And that way they're always looking out for each other, because they don't want you to hire anybody else, because that's money out of their pocket. They'd rather actually only be 3 of them instead of 4 of them, or 2 of them instead of 4. So again, make it part of doing business with you. Create a 0 tolerance policy after 1 offense. I wouldn't do 2 offenses, but you could if you want. So 3 strikes, you're out. You could do that. Whatever you're comfortable with, as long as you back it up. Whatever you say you're going to do, you just got to make sure that you actually do it. And with this type of policy and having more trainers than you need, it's going to make it so much easier for them to find replacements and never have to worry about a trainer not showing up. So just follow that and you should be good to go. It won't eliminate it, but it will definitely minimize the damage. It'll minimize the amount of times that it happens. Cool, so our last question for this week, and this person says it's a good problem they have. They are subleasing space, and with my help with their marketing, they're getting a lot of people in, and they're afraid that the studio that they sublease from won't let them keep growing their business at that pace. Like they're gonna ask them to leave because they're just really overtaking the studio that they're subleasing from. So they really wanna get their own studio, but they're not sure if they can afford it or if they should get a loan or not. So I'm not really opposed to loans, but if you can fund it from within your current membership base, that's the best way to go. So if you can, self-funding is the best. If you're going to go the loan route, the fastest way to do it is to go to a company called, you can look them up, it's called Guidant Financial. As long as you have good credit, they can get you up to like 10 credit cards with zero interest for the first year, with like $10,000 line of credit each, and you can usually take it up to about 50%. So I'll give you 50 grand with 0% interest, and then I'll show you how you can make that money back over the course of the year. But let's go with the self-funding route first. Actually, let's back up a minute and let's just talk about when you know you're actually ready, to move on. So the startup cost, depending on the location, if you have to do a lot of demolition, a demolition alone could cost you $15,000 if it's already divided up into a lot of little rooms. So ideally, you would find a space that's already just a shell, and that way you just have to build. You don't have to tear down and pay for somebody else's stuff that they put in there. So try to find a place that's just a shell, because the more demolition you have to do, the faster the demo costs are going to add up. But total startup cost, you should at least have $50K to do it right. That'll get you the build out, that'll get you all the equipment you need, and it'll give you everything you need to get started comfortably. On a shoestring, you could do it for half that. And that's what I did my first time. It was actually $27,000, but $25,000 can actually get you in the door. I did most of the build out myself. I was tearing things down, throwing the dumpster, sheetrock work, painting the ceilings, painting stuff, installing the flooring, everything. So if you want to do a lot of the work yourself, and if you have to, you can probably get away with it for $25K. So that's just the build out cost. You're also going to want about 3 months of operating capital. So you're going to be probably doing most of the work, so your payroll isn't going to be that much. So just take 3 months, of rent. And you don't have to have a huge marketing budget, but you can put like your marketing budget in there. This could be like rent plus utilities. And then whatever your payroll is if you have an admin. And you want 3 months of that. So that gives you a little bit of cushion, a little bit of ramp up time. And let's just say, it's $15,000. So on the shoestring, you need $25,000, $40,000 on the shoestring. So anywhere from 65, it'd be like 45 to 65K is what you're looking at. So that's what you need to raise or have in the bank before you're ready to actually move out. So let's talk about how you can get that. So there's a couple ways. One of the things that we did is we sold lifetime membership. And we called these founding members. And we did this for $5K each. And that's going to give them 4 years. We call it lifetime, but we limited it. We still have an end, because depending on the state that you're in, doing a lifetime for like a lifetime is hard to do because they don't know how long you're going to be in business. So we just say, because normally they're paying, 2 years, they'd be paying $5,000. So they're essentially getting 3 years for free. Or we did 5 years, so $1,000 a year for 5 years. And so they're essentially getting, 3 years for free. And I think we did 2 of those. So that gave us 10K. And then we had charter members for the new location. And with the founding members, we had a wall that we had everybody sign. We had founding members, and we just had them sign the wall, so they actually feel like they're part of the facility, part of what you're doing. They can really get behind it and feel like they can really take ownership for that. The charter members, we did 1 year, and we did it for $1,000. And we had like, I don't know, like 17, I'd say like 17 of those. So 17K. And then, so together it gave us a 27,000. And then, so all we had to do is save up the 3 months of operating capital, and we were able to move out. And the other thing that I did too is I was in a gymnastics facility. When I did it, is I had them mail out for the 14-day fat furnace that we did for them for $47, gave them 100% of that money for the first 2 weeks. We had like 49 people come in, and then we upsold 27 of those to our regular memberships at $197 a month, and we were able to use that money for operating capital as well. So you want to do like some founding members, do like a long-term, lifetime, call it a founding membership, whatever you want to call it. Make it around 5K, but make it a really, really good deal. Charter members, still, a little bit out of pocket with 1,000, and that's for 1 year. And then obviously doing any of the low barrier offers or trial promos or whatever would help raise that money as well. With so for instance here it was 17 and 2, it's only 19 members that you had on EFT before that you're losing. So you only have to replace 19 clients to get that EFT back up to where it's supposed to be. So when we did that promo with the gymnastics center and got 27 new members, we're actually well above this already. So our EFT was right back to where we were before, plus a little bit more. So we didn't really see it, in the books as far as taking a huge hit when we moved out. So you want to try to self-fund through your current members. There's some other things that you can do. You can also do like crowdfunding, so like Indiegogo. You can pre-sell, these types of deals. Usually you have to give an even better deal because that's people that don't know you on those websites. So we might have to do like 1 year for like 600 or 800, something like that. But you can also raise money that way as well. So these are just some ways that you can self-fund. If you want to go the loan route, I suggest going with Guidant Financial. You can get the total amount that you need if you have good credit, and then you can use this type of strategy going forward throughout the year to pay back that money before the interest kicks in. With Black Friday coming up, you can also do like a Black Friday deal to raise the money as well. So what we did one Black Friday is we just did pay for a year in full and get 6 months. So they end up getting an 18-month membership, but they're paying $2,400. So they're not getting a discount on the year, but they're getting the 6 free months. And we sold a bunch that year and actually took a big hit on our EFT. And I didn't really need all that cash. So that was the only year that we did that promo, but we sold like 40 some of those, and you figure 40 times $200 a month ends up being a lot of money that your EFT is going to take a hit, but we got like $80,000, $90,000 that came in. So that's the best way to self-fund and get started to transitioning to your own studio. So if you have any questions for me that you'd like me to answer on my next show, just leave them in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe to this live feed so you don't miss any future shows. And that is it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon.